Hey guys, it's Emily. Welcome to Posy Lane. If you're brand new here at Posy Lane, we like to do fun, easy, doable crafts. We make new content every week, so make sure to hit that subscribe button so you're the first one to get notified when a new video is up. If you're returning, I am so glad that you're back and that we get to craft together again. This week, we are going to be making some mermaid party ideas. Not only are we going to be making decor, but I also have a game and activity to make sure that you have all the bases covered for your party. So let's jump into it. We are going to be making seashell tic-tac-toe. When I went to the Dollar Tree, I noticed that they had these plastic seashells in the nautical section, and I thought these would be perfect for the X's and the O's on the game board. To make the tic-tac-toe board, we're going to be using nautical rope because I think that will go great with our seashell theme. Whenever I have a game or activity for a party, I like to make a sign for it. I feel like that makes it feel more official, and it also adds to the decorations. And I found these at the Dollar Tree. These were technically in the classroom section, I guess for like bulletin boards for teachers, but I thought these scallops looked just like a mermaid's tail. So I'm just gonna write tic-tac-toe on the front of one of these. To make the grid for your tic-tac-toe board, you're going to need nautical rope, and I found this at the Dollar Tree, and there's plenty in here. There's 9.5 feet, and you need 4 pieces of the rope. And so I just cut out 4 pieces at 14 inches each. And then after I cut it, I used a lighter on the end to kind of seal the end. Once you build your grid, the only other thing you need are the seashells, and I did end up picking up 2 packs. It only comes with 3 in a pack. If I only had 3 of each one, I wasn't gonna have enough to actually fill out the board. The activity that I'm showing you guys today actually came from an idea my daughter came up with. She thought that it would be great to use really pretty sprinkles and make a mermaid tail. I found these sugar cones at the store, and I thought this would be great for a tail if we just put a fin on it. And then we'll be using this really pretty blue like icing. I think it looks great for a mermaid tail. It reminds me so much of the ocean. And the last thing that we needed was sprinkles, but I love all the colors and the pretty like pearlescent shininess of the different sprinkles. And so that's what we're going to be using to decorate the tail. I have the cone completely covered in the icing, and I'm ready to add my fin. I found an image of a mermaid's tail online, and I copy and pasted that into a Word document and printed it out. I just traced that onto some pink cardstock, and now I have my fin. Kind of avoid getting the icing all over my hands. I'm holding it from the inside and then rotating it, just putting my finger on the tip. We are going to be making a centerpiece for the table. I love having something in the center that will fill out the space. And one of my new favorite things to actually get at the Dollar Tree is this vinyl paper to actually customize our own mermaid tail and shells and different little pieces to make it look like the mermaid is splashing down into the water. We're going to be making the mermaid's tail first, and I used the same printout that I had printed earlier. I traced it first on this side and then flipped it over and traced it on the other side. I'm going to cut the different parts of the tail out, and then I'm going to place it onto cardstock to actually build the tail. I love this vinyl paper from the Dollar Tree so much that basically whenever I see a new color that I don't have, I grab it. So I actually bought this teal and the magenta before I even knew I was going to make a mermaid's tail. I have all the vinyl cut out, but it's really essentially a sticker, and so it's a little bit floppy, and I need something to stick it to. So I'm just going to use white cardstock to put all the different pieces on so it will be more sturdy when I build the tail. A mermaid's tail is not perfectly smooth like these stickers look, so I'm going to use a Sharpie to kind of draw some details. I found that you really need a permanent marker for it to actually stick to the vinyl paper. And I'm going to draw some scales on the tails and also some lines on the fins to make it look a little bit more realistic. going to use a hot glue gun to assemble, and then I'm going to attach them to a skewer. And this is going to kind of like act like the stem, so they'll go down into the foam and stay secure in the arrangement. I wanted it to look like she was kind of splashing down into the water, so I made some splashes that will come up out of the arrangement, and I already assembled splashes. I made 3 of them in total. I also wanted some seashells, and so I did the same process of looking up, and I found 2 different seashells, a starfish seashell online, and I just used the purple vinyl paper and made them 2-sided and attached them to skewers. I just needed something to cover up all of this foam. And I thought about using moss, but moss is like green and not quite the right color. I painted the moss 3 different shades because if you think about seawater or ocean water, it's not all just one color. And I found 3 different paints that I already had, all from Walmart, but I think that it looks really pretty and will work to cover up all of the foam. I actually made less of the dark blue because my plan was just to kind of use it like an accent color, because if everything was that color, I think it would probably be a little bit too dark. I really liked this reindeer moss that I'm using because it reminds me kind of like coral. The way it's kind of spongy just kind of makes me think more of the ocean. The container is ready to go, and I want to put all of these in really lower than what the skewers are, so I'm just going to use wire cutters to cut them. I've noticed that this does a cleaner cut than just using like regular scissors. The last thing that we're going to make is some confetti for the table. I found this mesh tubing at the Dollar Tree, and it's going to be confetti, and I like having something like this to fill out the table that you would work around your arrangement just to make it feel even more full. This stuff is actually really cool. It's like a really pretty shiny iridescent, and it also reminds me of those finger traps that you used to get when you were a kid. Here's just kind of an idea of how I would scatter it around on the table. The tic-tac-toe game was so easy to put together, and if you wanted to, you could make multiples of these. It's just a great activity to have already set out, so when kids come in, they can start playing it. The mermaid tail's great if you had a unicorn party too. If you didn't put a little fin on, you could just make the cone and decorate it with white icing, and it would be super cute as a unicorn theme too. The centerpiece came out so adorable. I'm really happy with this painted moss. It looks like the seawater. If you wanted to have more mermaid tails, you could use the same template and put them on other things. Thank you guys so much for joining me today at Posy Lane. I had so much fun making all of this with you guys. I hope you have a great day.